Welcome back to another video, live video. Um, this one is on Biden abuse of power. And during the 2020 election, it was a lot of information that was put out about Biden crime family. Even during the Obama administration days and prior to throughout his 50 odd year, 50 years of being in politics, of all the illegal money and donations that he has received and how he helped his people out who paid him enough money. And I remember that Bishop Gator Global Media Group did a fine job on him on a video called The Biden Crime Family. And if you really want to get into that, because he's long winded, but he does excellent research, it's called The Biden Crime Family, where he went from A to Z about Biden. So now all of these allegations have come out, but this information has been out there, and he has done a lot of, and now the House of Representatives, they did pass on the articles of impeachment, but the Senate not going to. It's too he out of power as of January 20th. He can't. He not going to run again. He can, but he gave his bid the coup d'etat that they did on him, which was wrong, to remove him out of office because the man clearly wanted to run again, and he has been putting Jezebel Kamala under the table. He has been, and I'm gonna do a separate video on that. But he has been throwing her up under the table ever since. He is pissed that they did that to him. It was clearly a coup. But I'm gonna read some articles and just show some short videos. Oh shoot. The thing don't never work. But hit the like button, like, share, subscribe, share the video, leave a comment. I don't understand. Oh shoot. Now the thing wanna mess up as usual. This is out of the New York Post. Biden accused of abuse of power, obstruction, and blistering House Republican impeachment report hours before his DNC speech. House Republicans issued a blistering report Monday accusing President Biden of committing at least two offenses that would justify his impeachment. Too little, too late. Y'all should have been did it. It's been out there, and y'all knew. You long-term standing, you knew. Everybody knew that this was going on. Too little, too late. Delivering a political black eye to Biden just hours before he speaks on opening night of the DNC. Now, this is an old article, but it's something I've been wanting to talk about. Well, it's not an old because DNC was in August. Republicans launched an investigation last September after evidence surfaced that Biden, 81, repeatedly interacted with his relatives' foreign business partners during his vice presidency. And that means Hunter Biden. It was all over the laptop that mysteriously disappeared and then was proven to be true and all the thing. And now Hunter Biden has been found guilty on the gun charge and awaiting sentencing, I guess. Well, he was sentenced, awaiting to go to prison. And following allegations from two IRS investigators of far reaching Justice Department cover up, Biden engaged in abuse of power and obstruction of justice or obstruction of Congress by corruptly abating and concealing a 27 million influence peddling racket, which warrant proceedings that could result in his removal from office. Like I said, too little, too late. The 290-page report by oh shoot, by three House committee says Joe Biden has exhibited conduct and taken actions that the founders sought to guard against in drafting the impeachment provisions in the Constitution: abuse of power, foreign entanglements, corruption, and obstruction of investigators' duties. into these matters, the report says. The committee's investigative work has revealed that the Biden crime family, I put crime because it's a Biden crime family, with full knowledge and cooperation of President Biden, had engaged in global influence peddling racket from which they made millions of dollars. That is a fact. Everybody knew. The rare congressional impeachment inquiry was ratified by the House of Representatives in a party line vote in December 2023, but the Senate is not going to, which is Democratic ran the majority, they're not going to allow this to even be put on the floor. With all Republican lawmakers voting it through, it compiled interview transcripts from 30 witnesses involving the filing of another 30 subpoenas to compile testimony and resulted in millions of pages of business contracts, bank records, and other documents. The report accuses Biden of aiding the shady business ventures of his son Hunter, 54, and his brother James Biden, who coincidentally who owns an island next to Jeffrey Epstein. Make that make sense. Make you go, which reminds me, I'm going to start a series, things that make you go, Stuff that doesn't fit like a category, but make you think and ponder. And then attempting to cover the family's tracks by reciting oversight by Congress. Biden, who announced his looming retirement July 21st after a Democratic mutiny, it was a coup d'etat over his mental acuity, knowingly participated in a conspiracy to monetize his office of public trust to enrich his family. He did during and after his time as VP in Obama administration, the report says. He's been doing it. Joe Biden's participation in his family's influence peddling represents, as quantified by sheer dollar amounts flowing to a public official's personal interest, one of the most outrageous abuses of power uncovered in the history of the United States. It alleges. You can't make this up. Wow. As much as 18 million allegedly flowed from foreign entities to shell companies and other accounts linked to the first family members from corrupt dealings that sold the Biden brand to associates in Kazakhstan, Ukraine. That's why we keep sending all the money to Ukraine. Ukraine is more corrupt than Mexico. That is a fact. Look it up. Russia and China. Biden family associates, including former Hunter Biden business partners who testified to the panels, nabbed another 9 million in profits. The president met and spoke on the phone with and at times dined with foreign patrons, implying to them that in exchange for payments, they had access to Joe Biden that could project their business interests. The report by the House Oversight, Judiciary, and Tax Focused Ways and Means Committee says Biden is not expected to be impeached by the House, where Republicans hold a narrow 220 to 212 in part of the reluctance from a handful of Republicans, but also because of diminished political silence now that Biden has dropped out for a second term. That's a fact. Some of the foreign dealings are likely to be probed in detail next month at Hunter's federal tax trial in Los Angeles for allegedly evading 1.4 million in taxes between 2016 and 2019. These charges and gun felony case in Delaware, which resulted in his conviction June 11th, were brought after IRS agents Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler alleged preferential treatment of First Family and false testimony to Congress by Attorney General Merrick Garland about the independence of years old probe. Hunter initially agreed to probation only plea deal, but walked away from it last month over demands for broader immunity and including for alleged foreign agent counts that could implement his dad. The Republican report serves as a blemish to the legacy of the chief executive who has repeatedly claimed in public that he never spoke about business with his son or brother and that he did not interact with their business partners despite a trove of evidence to the contrary. These charges and a gun felony case in okay, hold on. The Republican report serves as a okay, I did that. The report says that the Biden's family influence peddling was vast and involved entities and individuals from some of America's greatest adversaries, such as China and Russia. Clearly aware of the political risks associated with Joe Biden's participation in the scheme, the Biden family and their business associates sought to conceal his involvement by funneling money through an extensive network of shell or third party companies using code names and engaging in other op- obscure tactics designed to maintain, as James Biden described, plausible deniability. And I remember that even in the offshore account in his daughter-in-law's name, who also who was married to Bo, who Hunter had a child with, that they just now acknowledging. And Hunter started her on crack. All that came out in a previous report. Um, she money was funneled to her, even under his grandkids' name. But now they do recognize that that is their granddaughter after public scrutiny. So you had an affair with your brother-in-law. That's just what and had a baby. So the committee present this information to the House of Representatives for its evaluation and consideration of appropriate next steps. It's unlikely that Republicans will be able to muster the votes to actual impeachment the lame duck commander in chief, but it's possible that some lesser reprimands such as censure could pass the GOP held House. Democrats have argued that Biden did nothing wrong and that he's guilty of being no more than a supportive father to his son Hunter, who has struggled with addiction to alcohol and drugs. While pointing out that members of other First families have had dealings with state linked foreign firms while or shortly after their powerful relatives held office. White House spokesman Sharon Yang dismissed the report as a smear based conspiracy theory. No, it's not, it's facts. After wasting nearly 2 years and millions of taxpayer dollars, House Republicans have finally given up on their goose chase, she said. The American people deserve more from the House Republicans, and perhaps now they will finally join President Biden in focusing on real issues that American families actually care about. President Biden interacted with his family's foreign patrons from an array of foreign countries: China, Russia, Ukraine. According to report, despite Biden's vehement denials during the 2020 campaign and after he assumed the presidency. In Ukraine, Hunter Biden earned a salary up to $1 million per year to serve on the board of a natural gas company, Burisma Holdings. Despite no relevant industry experience, beginning mere weeks after his father, the sitting vice president, became the Obama administration point person on policy towards Kai. Throughout Vice President Biden's tenure in the Obama Biden administration, Hunter Biden's business encounter with Burisma involved his father. For example, on April 16, 2015, VP Biden attended a dinner with his son and Burisma officials. including Devin Archer and Burisma corporate secretary Pozarski at a Cafe Milano in Washington, D.C. The report says, referring to an encounter first reported by the Post in October 2020, which Biden's campaign vaguely denied at the time. Like I said, this information been out there. But of course, people don't like to research nothing. They just go on hearsay. They just a bunch of followers. But anyway, the following day, Mr. Polinsky thanked Hunter Biden for giving him an opportunity to meet his father and spend some time together. Throughout his tenure at Burisma, Hunter Biden also met with several Obama, ooh, Biden administration State Department officials, including then Secretary Anthony Blinken, on July 2025 to get his advice on a couple of things. I'm sure. The report says that evidence demonstrates that Hunter Biden called his father, then VP, to help alleviate the pressure that Burisma and its owner Zavosky faced from Prosecutor General Victor Shostakin's investigation in the company. The phone call appears to have sparked VP Biden to condition a third $1 billion loan guarantee to Prosecutor General Shostakin's firing. Wow. Now, I didn't know that. That's things that make you go, hmm. Hunter's business partner, Devin Archer, testified that then second son called DC, which Archer said met Joe Biden during a December 2015 meeting in Dubai with Burisma's corporate leaders. 3 days after this Democratic phone call from Dubai on December 7, 2015, VP Biden called an audible on the plane to Kyiv, rather than concurrently signing the loan guarantee as planned by State Department. VP Biden unilaterally declined to condition the release of the third $1 billion loan guarantee on the firing of Schlossman. Joe Biden also dined at Cafe Milano in D.C. in 2014-2015 with Hunter's Kazakhstani associates, including Roginski, who purchased Hunter a $442,000 sports car, according to First Son's own testimony. Two lucrative Chinese government-linked business relationships also involved Joe Biden, the report recounts, including a December 2013 trip to Beijing where Hunter introduced his father to the incoming chief of state-backed investment fund BHR Partners. Joe Biden later wrote college recommendation letters for Lee's children and greeted him on speakerphone during a business meeting, Archer told investigators. Hunter Biden held a 10% stake in Burisma Partners at least through part of his father's first year as president, and in terms of his divestment, remain murky. In the second Chinese government-linked venture, the report says the elder Biden met with his son and CEFC China Energy Chairman Jean Jamin at the Four Seasons Hotel in Georgetown shortly before $3 million flowed to a consortium of Biden family associates in March 2017. According to the testimony from former Biden business associate Rob Walker. Walker said the payday was for services rendered during the Obama-Biden administration. Another $5.1 million flowed from CFC to entities linked to Hunter and James Biden within 10 days of threatening text message to a China-based associate, in which Hunter wrote he was sitting here with my father and threatened retribution. Photos from Hunter's abandoned laptop indicate he was at his father's Wilmington, Delaware home that day. Of the $5.1 million, $40,000 was transferred from James Biden to Joe Biden in an alleged loan repayment, the first brother admitted to investigators, with the president's younger brother insisting it was a short-term loan for personal reasons. While Joe Biden claimed he gave his money to Joe to repay personal loans, Jim Biden did not provide any evidence to support this claim. In addition to foreign revenue sources, the Biden family leveraged Joe Biden's positions of public trust to obtain over $8 million in loans from Democratic benefactors. Along those was Joey Langston, a former Mississippi lawyer convicted of bribery, who told investigators he loaned James Biden $800,000, with most of the installments coming toward the end of the Biden administration in 2016, and ended up only being repaid 400,000 of the amount. Hollywood lawyer Kevin Morris allegedly loaned Hunter Biden $6.5 million in order to protect Joe Biden's presidential campaign, the report says. After the men met for the first time in late 2015 at a political fundraiser for Joe Biden presidential campaign, Mourns and other Democratic donors pitched in more to purchase Hunter's Nova artworks following the dissolution of his business enterprise, with at least one scoring an appointment to one of Biden's presidential commissions. Joe Biden received $200,000 in a second alleged loan repayment from James Biden, that investigators links to deal involving non-bankrupt hospital chain in the U.S. after pledging to use his political connections to secure a foreign investor, according to court filings from the firm's bankruptcy trustee. No one has been able to assert any plausible reason for the Bidens receiving this much money from foreign sources and Democratic benefactors. And to the extent that reasons were provided, the witnesses describes of a promoted services provided do not justify the amount of money paid to them. Honey, government officials, they just corrupt on both sides. The White House repeatedly obstructed the probe by denying access to the important witnesses and records, including massive troves of emails in which the former VP used a pseudonym to all times communicate with his son's business associates. Drafts of his late 2015 speech to Ukraine's parliament and recordings of his interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur regarding his retention of classified documents, the report says. President Biden's failure to produce relevant documents and his obstruction of Congress gives rise to the inference that the evidence is unfavorable to him. Those interferences include the earlier drafts of his speech to the Ukraine Rada, and before his call to his son, and before he called an audible, do not include claims that the Office of General Prosecutor desperately needed reform. The White House knew President Biden had willfully retained and had still possessed classified documents as early as May 2021. Yes, they did. They in his garage. They just all over the place, and covered it up until 2022 midterm elections. That he used studio emails to interact with and coordinate the business activities of Biden's family's business associates, that he is unfit to serve as president of the United States. Hold on, let me tell him. Hey, Fly, I'm live on YouTube. Okay, love you. Okay. Um, Sorry about that. The emails that he is unfit to serve as president of the United States. The Republicans say such obstruction alone is high crime and misdemeanor under the Constitution. Biden's Justice Department also interfered with Hunter's taxes. I can't stand when it do it. Let me see. Biden's just, Hunter's taxes from the vast business enterprise, the report says, citing the IRS whistleblowers who made protected disclosures to congressional investigators. The delays and obstruction by Biden appointing U.S. attorneys and Justice Department officials helped run down the clock on potential criminal charges regarding Hunter Biden's underreported income and tax avoidance that occurred while his father was VP. Everybody knew it's called the Biden crime family for nothing. The report further cites special counsel Hearst's investigator finds that Biden willfully retained classified material from the Obama White House and disclosed it to his ghostwriter for a memoir that netted another $8 million advance. Her opted not to bring charges against the oldest ever president, due in part to belief that a jury would find him a sympathetic, well meaning elderly man with a poor memory. So you don't want to charge him, but you want to charge Trump. Make it make sense. No, if you're going to charge one, you need to charge the other. You charge both Biden and Trump, or you don't charge neither one. You don't charge this man because he decrepit and got dementia, but you charge the other one, then you need to throw them all out. That's some BS right there. Biden asserted executive privilege to prevent Congress from getting tapes of his discussions with her. Now, but y'all mad that the Supreme Court granted presidents partial immunity if they hold uh, meetings and that whatever they're doing while they're in office. So Biden asserted executive privilege. What's the difference? It will apply to all presidents. You have immunity based on certain information. Mm. Although the president is now 81 years old and appears to suffer from diminished mental capacity, you think? It is important to note that much of the president's wrongful conduct occurred while he was lucid and during the peak of his political career. The schemes would not have generated millions of dollars if President Biden did not do exactly what his family leaders needed him to do: just show up. He did so intentionally, repeatedly, and with the knowledge that his actions sent the message his family members intended, that they had access to Joe Biden in exchange for payment. Anyone, even a foreign adversary, could obtain access. Now, that's a fact. In case of the influence peddling schemes, the committee also wrote that Biden's action exceeded the threshold for impeachable conduct. There you have it. Like, share, subscribe. And it's a lot more, but I'm just going to play a couple of videos just to back up what I'm saying, what I just read. Then we done with that. Oh, shoot, it's on my IG. Okay, we're going to start by this one. Let me scroll.
As we do every week, we highlight a freshman. This freshman is just incredible. His military service, his success starting businesses that work with our military every day. He's a colleague of mine on the House Armed Services Committee and a true rising star from Florida, Corey Mills.
Thank you all so much. As the chairwoman had talked about, the dangerous precedence which has been set by the bureaucratic individuals who are unelected officials who think they're lawmakers bypassing our Congress and our congressional rights is truly a threat to our constitutional republic. The ATF's rule illustrates the dangers of unchecked administrative agencies that is willing to circumvent all of Congress, which is the American people. This is a continuation of the Biden administration's effort to erode American Second Amendment rights. But this is also specifically the ATF's rule would curb the Second Amendment rights of disabled veterans who put their lives out on the line for our country. One of those individuals is a Florida resident. His name is Rick Cicero, who had lost his right arm in an explosion in Afghanistan serving our country. To quote him, he stated that getting that skill back, it reinvigorates you and it helps to maintain a bit of confidence that you're still able to do something. Now, this isn't something where the ATF is moving forward and trying to pass a new law, but actually the opposite. The ATF had this law in place where it was okay for almost 10 years. This right here in itself, actually, and the ATF are previously approving these braces, are now backtracking on this to criminalize millions of Americans. We must stop the unelected bureaucrats who think they are lawmakers.
That's not where I want to go.
I'm proud of what we've accomplished so far, and I look forward to what we're going to accomplish going forward. Now, let's go have another full week of wins for the American people. And with that, I turn it over to our leader, Steve Scalise.
Love the energy the hockey guy brings. Thank you, Whip. Arrived today on a piece of legislation where you saw DC going after cops once again, siding with.
Okay, no, that was the wrong video. Let me see.
Republicans on Monday issued a blistering report
Here we go.
against President Biden, accusing him of committing at least 2 impeachable offenses following a year-long inquiry into his conduct, and delivering him a political black eye ahead of his speech to the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Having begun the probe back in September, at least 3 Republican committees, the Judiciary, Oversight, and Ways and Means Committee, have assembled sufficient evidence to show that Biden engaged in abuse of power and obstruction of justice or obstruction of Congress by corruptly aiding and abetting a $27 million influence peddling racket, as they put it, which warrants proceedings that could result in his removal from office should the House choose to move forward on that. The report accuses Biden of aiding the shady business ventures of his son Hunter and his brother James, and then attempting to cover the family's tracks by resisting oversight from Congress. The report came out, however, after Biden stepped down and chose not to run for re-election, after a Democratic mutiny rose up following questions about his mental acuity after he debated former President Donald Trump on June 27th. According to the House report, Biden's participation in his family's influence peddling represents one of the most egregious abuses of power uncovered in the history of the United States. As much as $18 million allegedly flowed from foreign entities to shell companies and other accounts linked to Biden family members as a result of corrupt dealings to sell the, quote, Biden brand to various associates, including those in Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Russia, and China. Another $9 million was given over to domestic associates who formed the business interests of Hunter and James Biden. President Met spoke on the phone and at times dined with many of the foreign patrons, according to evidence assembled by the House committees. He's not expected to be impeached by the House since Republicans hold a narrow majority, and there's been political reluctance from some moderate Republicans about moving forward with such a political move amid the 2024 election. Over the course of the probe, the White House repeatedly obstructed congressional investigators from accessing important witnesses as well as records, including a massive trove of emails which the former vice president used a pseudonym to communicate with his son's business associates, as well as drafts of a late 2015 speech to Ukraine's parliament, and even recordings of his interview with special counsel Robert Hur, who determined that Biden had willfully retained classified documents after his vice presidency. The report also noted that a 5-year criminal probe documents produced by IRS whistleblowers to various committees. The delays and obstruction by Biden-appointed U.S. attorneys and Justice Department officials helped run down the clock on potential criminal charges regarding Hunter Biden's underreported income and tax avoidance that occurred while his father was vice president, according to the House report.
All right.
Hello, namaskar. This is First Post to be watching Vantage with.
Now this Indian news. Yep, this first post from India. Let me go past this.
In the Kolkata rape and murder case, doctors continue to protest, the politics continues to heat up, and the investigation is focusing on the college principal and an alleged mafia that he ran. The world over, Mpox is spreading. Countries are screening travelers. The WHO has sounded how and where can you see it? And what is slow productivity? The new trend 28,000 American troops are stationed in South Korea. Kenyan super yacht sinks off the coast of Sicily. At least one person has been killed and six others are missing.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. For support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished. It's time for a revolution to take root.
Okay, here we go.
The cricketer turned politician had studied at Oxford in the 1970s.
That matter.
On the coast of Sicily, at least one person has been claimed to contain nuclear armed bureaucracy. What is a rare blue supermoon? How and where can you see it? It's time for a revolution. One tree. A News 18 network initiative.
All right. Well, I guess I can't find it, but like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Have a good one. We'll be back with another one on Obama. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Please get me in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you.